and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. I hope that we are live this time. So this is about take 6 now, trying to get this going live. Yeah, just crazy. I don't know what was going on. So I was due to go live at 11 o'clock. That's 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's now 20 past. It's taken me 20 minutes to try and get this sorted out. So I apologize to anyone who has been waiting. And probably thinking, what is going on? She's not even coming live today. I am. I'm sorry. I'm just working out the new tech. Well, it's new to me anyway. YouTube lives are new to me. I normally go live over on Facebook. So I'm still learning how to go live on YouTube. And it's different and it's challenging. So all good. I'm here now. So that is good. All right. So I'm just going to see if I can see this over on my my channel on my computer so that I can see any comments and things like that that are coming up. So let me just have a look and see there if I can see that. Ooh, I might be able to see that. I'll just mute my screen and yay, I can see it. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. Oh, okay. That is such a relief because I have been trying for ages to go live. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. All right. All good. Oh, Brenton's here. Hi, Brenton. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I was having so much trouble trying to go live today. So I don't know. I don't understand the settings on here. I'm still learning. So oh, at least I have one person to keep me company. Hopefully a few more will get notifications now that I am live and will jump on as the time goes on. So anyway, welcome. It is great to be here. Finally. If you missed my intro, my name is Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. And I have got a really cute project to share with you today with some brand new products that are coming out on the 2nd of May. I'm showing them a little bit early because as demonstrators, we can order them early. So I have been able to pre-order some of those beautiful new products and start having a play with them. So I'm starting to share those to get you geared up and excited and ready for the new catalog when that launches. Now, interestingly, in all of my craziness of trying to get this going live, I didn't even grab out my catalog, did I? So 2 secs. I'm going to scoot across to the other side of the room and I'll grab my catalog. Just 2 secs. There it is. There's the brand new catalog. So this is the new 2023 to 2024 annual catalog, and it is filled with gorgeous products. Super exciting. I took mine to my local stationery store and had it spiral bound and had a plastic cover put on the front and on the back to protect it. And then I added all my little tabs, and this just helps me to find things quickly and easily in the catalog. I know my tabs don't coordinate with the colors of the catalog, but that's okay. I can deal with that. So if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia and you would like one of these catalogs, please let me know. I would love to get one out to you. Now, all of my links will be in the description of this video. And I haven't got all of the links there at the moment. There's some links, but there's not all of them, but I will add them once I've finished filming this video and it gets uploaded, etc. But what I will do is I will put where have I put it now? Here we go. So if you would like a new catalog, I'll put the link here in the description, in the comments of the video, because you can comment with me live here on Facebook. Sorry, not Facebook. I'm on YouTube, aren't I? I'm so used to going live on Facebook. So here on YouTube, you can chat with me. I believe that you have to be signed into your Google account to be able to do that though. So be sure that you do that first. All right, so let me I'll put the catalog request up in the chat. Now let me see if I can remember how to do this. Is it going here? No. Okay, hang on one sec. Let me work this out. Okay, where am I putting this? Oh, here. Okay, that's all right. There was an extra pop-up that came up. Okay, so that one is there. I've just seen that pop up on the screen now, so that's awesome. All of these links that I talk about during my live today will be in the description when I finish. As I said, there's some in there at the moment, but not all of them. Let me just have a look and see if my the request a catalog one is there, but I think that might be the old one. So I'll have to edit that and add the new one in. Yeah. So, all right, all good. So yeah, beautiful new catalog. And we have got, Stampin' Up has got a color refresh. Now, if you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock, there is a color refresh coming with this new catalog, which means some of our old colors are retiring. And we've got some brand new colors coming in, as well as some returning colors that were previous in colors. So, which is super exciting. So lots and lots of gorgeous colors to play with, which is always exciting. So Stampin' Up does a color refresh about every 5 years or so. It can differ, but it's generally about every 5 years. So this is my second color refresh. Oh, actually, yes, I think it's a second color refresh since I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator, because the first one came in just after I started, not long after I started. So yeah, so it's exciting, very exciting. Now, if you have any questions about any of these products or anything like that, feel free to get in contact with me. Or if you're here live with me, you can chat with me in the comments. I'll try and keep an eye on those as I'm crafting today. So yeah, feel free to ask me any questions that you might have, or comments, chat with me. Yeah, so it's lovely when you engage with me, and makes the crafting experience so much more fun. So if you're crafting along with me, let me know as well. But if not, then sit back, relax, and enjoy what I have to present with you for you today. Now, before I jump into the project, let me just let you know a couple of things. So because we've got the new catalog coming in, the old catalog, the old annual catalog, or the current annual catalog, is going to be retiring on the 1st of May, as well as the mini catalog. So at the moment, there is a sale going on. So this is the last chance product sale. There are products that are discounted up to 60%. Now, not everything is discounted, but lots of products are discounted up to 60%. So you can grab yourself some awesome bargains. Or if you had anything that was on your wish list from the current catalogs, you might want to grab them now. Now, anything that is currently bundled in either of those catalogs, so if it's a bundle that contains a stamp set and a punch, or a stamp set and dies, generally when they carry over into the new catalog, if those ones are carrying over, because some products do carry over, they won't be bundled anymore. So if you want to get your 10% discount now while they are bundled, I suggest getting that now, because otherwise, once they carry over, they'll be individual items with their individual pricings, and there won't be a bundled discount on those ones. So anyway, so if you go to the online store and check that out, you'll see all of the products listed there. That's the best way to check them out. See what is left available. Any of the colored cardstocks that are retiring, I know that there's some of those still available. Yeah, so anyway, so go and check that out. There's lots and lots of products there available in the last chance products sale. All right, the other thing I just wanted to let you know, with the new catalogs, the new annual catalog coming in, I am running a product share to help you to get a collection of some of the beautiful products. So I have 2 that are available. I've got the paper share. So that's this one here. This isn't all of the papers that are going to be in the share because I wasn't able to pre-order all of them. So this is just some of them, just a selection of some of the papers that are involved or included, I should say, not involved. But yeah, so there is a paper share available, and I also have an in color share. So the in color share includes some of the new in color cardstock, the in color designer series paper, the ribbon, and the embellishments. Okay, so it doesn't include the inks or the coloring tools. So it's mainly the consumable products. So I have both of these available. Now you can choose to get one or the other, or you might like to get all of them together. And I'll pop up the link for that one as well. So that you can check that out. If you click on the link and go and have a look, and then that will show you everything that's included in the share. And then if you're here in Australia and you'd like to join in on that share, then you can fill in the registration form. All right, so I'll just copy that link there and pop that in the comments. And as I said, it will be in the description of the video after I finish recording as well, when I check the video and edit it and things like that. All right, so that's what that's the newsy things that I had to share with you. Again, if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know, and I'll get in contact. You can get in contact with me, and I'll be happy to help you. All right, so I think we are ready. Yep, okay, so I'm just reading those notifications there. All right, I think we are ready to get crafting. That's all of the newsy things to keep you up to date with what's happening. All right, now all of these products that I'm showing you today will be available from the 2nd of May. So we've only got a few more days. What's today? Today is April 27th. Thursday the 27th. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 more days until these beautiful new products are available. So I'm going to tip the camera down to the desktop to get started. Now I need to transition the camera, so please bear with me. It's a little bit different to how I do it with Facebook Lives. So yes, hopefully it will be okay as I transition it. Now I don't have my moderator with me today. My moderator Amber, she's not available today, so I don't have her here. So I'm trying to watch the comments myself, and also too, because she's not here, I have the puppy in the room. So hopefully puppy will sleep through the whole thing. She's asleep at the moment, so hopefully she will remain asleep, and we can get crafting. So, all right, so let me transition this camera. Now, let me remember how I did it last time. I think I did like this. Let's see if this works. No, this way. That's it. Okay, and then I'll adjust my stand. Okay, I'll take that down a little bit and adjust this. So it's a little bit of a tweaking because I've only got the one camera and it does everything. So I have to, all right, and then if I flip that, we should be all good. All right, only that we can see my stand there. So let me see if I can slide my camera up. Whoop, is that going to stay put? And then if we zoom in, whoop, hopefully, whoops, hang on a minute. Hopefully, I'm just trying to see if I can't get rid of those comments off the screen. All right, hopefully that is going to work. So I'll just move this up a little bit. Sorry, my voice is probably really loud right now because I'm right over the camera. And if we pop that there. Actually, let me just move that away for a sec. I just want to see if I can straighten this up a tad. There There we go. And then move that up there like that. Okay, so that's not too bad. Sorry, my transitions are taking a little bit longer on YouTube because I'm trying to get used to it. Now I meant to sync up my AirPods because I noticed last time when I did this, the sound changed quite significantly when I turned my camera over. So let me know, if you wouldn't mind, let me know how the sound is, and if it's no good, I can plug in my AirPods and see if that helps. So yeah, so if you're still there, Brenton, would you mind just letting me know how is the sound? Do I sound, I'll get in position, do I sound too far away? What do you think? How does that sound to you? So I'll just wait to see. Okay, so any of the products that you see that I'm using today, you can find in my online store. So if you go to my blog, which is Mandy's Papercraft Creations .blogspot.com, and then you can click on the shop button there. Over on my blog there's a whole heap of creative inspiration as well. I've got lots of blog posts with lots of beautiful projects there. There's also a link there for you to subscribe to my newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, then please feel free to subscribe to my newsletter so that I can keep you updated with all of the latest news. Also too, there's PDF versions there of the current catalogues and all those sorts of things. So go there and check that out. If you want to, oh, Brenton says sound is good. Oh, thank you so much, Brenton. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me know if it goes off because then I can sync my AirPods. Now, if you're shopping with me, this is my April 2023 host code. With orders over $75, when you use my host code, I do send you a thank you gift. So be sure to use that. If your order is over $250 though, don't use the host code because Stampin' Up will give you Stampin' Rewards on that order, and you just need to redeem those before you check out so that you don't lose those, okay? Because they don't carry over to other orders. You have to use them on that specific order. All right, I also do have a website there, so you can go there to my website and check that out as well. There's lots of different things over there also, and my full calendar of events is there as well. All right, so let me tell you what we are playing with today. We are going to be playing with the gorgeous new Crafting With You bundle. So the bundle comes with the stamp set and the dies. Now you can purchase them individually, but of course you're going to be wanting both products, let me just say. And if you purchase them together, you will save 10%. So it is better value for money to get them together as a bundle rather than purchasing one now and then later down the track realizing that, you know, you should have purchased the other product and then you end up paying full price. So ask me how I know. All right, so this is for the craft lovers and crafters of all types. As you can see, we've got a sewing machine, we've got an easel with some paintbrushes, we've got some wool for the knitters, we've got a little basket, and of course we've got crafting tools for the paper crafters. Here's our little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So how super cool is that? And then in the dies, we've got dies that coordinate with each of those images, as well as we have a little paper trimmer. We've got some scissors, a ruler, we've got buttons, we've got spools for thread, and then we've got the little thread dies here. We've got hearts, we've got stars and flowers. We've got an embroidery hoop even. How cute is that little embroidery hoop? And we've got an additional little basket here as well, which is super, super cute. So this is such an adorable set for the crafters out there, crafters of all types, not just paper crafters. You can make cards for those people and they will just appreciate it so, so much. So this is what we're going to be playing with today, and there's some beautiful sentiments here as well. I love this one. Life is better when you're crafting. Of course it is. Sending you a handmade hug. That's a beautiful sentiment. We're going to use that one today. And then we've just got a little with love and you inspire me. So beautiful, beautiful sentiments. Now this one was a 1 million achiever stamp set. And so Irene Wendlandt helped to create this one with Stampin' Up as a 1 million achiever. So thank you so much, Irene. We love your bundle, your stamp set, and you have dies that go with it, so that's super cool. So yeah, so this is the one that we are creating with. I am going to be using a couple of other die sets too, but I'll show you those as we go along, just to add a couple of extra details. Now let me show you the card that I have created, and I'm going to just be doing a few little tweaks. This is the card that I designed last night. Now this isn't all stuck down because I was still designing it last night, so I thought, okay, I won't stick it all down. I'll just make sure that I'm happy with it in the morning, and then I'll create it. I'll show you how to create it today. So this one isn't actually all stuck down. And in fact, my little spool of ribbon that I created, I wasn't happy with it. And I've come up with another idea of, I'm not happy with it because the center of the spool was not centered, basically. So I've come up with another idea for that today to get that centered. But that's basically the project. I'm going to show you how to create each of those elements, and then we'll put it all together. So that is the card that we're creating. The designer series paper that we are using is the brand new, I'll actually take this out of the plastic. Hang on one sec. Whoop. Oh, it's stuck. Hang on a minute. It's caught on the plastic. There we go. Okay, so this is the Countryside Inn. Hang on, I just dropped a couple of pieces of scrap. I need to pick them up before the dog gets them. Just a sec. Okay, because she loves paper. I dropped a couple of little scraps. She loves paper, and especially pretty paper. Patterned paper, bright colors. She just loves them. So this is the new Countryside Inn 12 by 12 designer series paper. It's going to be in the new catalogue. Now it's part of a new suite that is the Countryside Inn suite. Oh, is it called Countryside Inn suite? Hang on a sec. Let me check the new suite name. I've got to make sure I get that right. Yes, it is Countryside Inn suite. Now I don't have the other pieces to the suite. I just have the designer series paper at the moment. Haven't bought the other pieces yet, but let me show you this gorgeous paper, which we're going to be using today. So I'm trying to not drop everything. All right. So I've already started to cut some of this up for today's project. And this is the first time I've used these products today. Well, apart from last night designing my project. Oh, Brenton says his crafting with you is on your next order list. Fantastic. Yeah, it's a really good one, Brenton. And it's so versatile, this one. Because there's so many different pieces for so many different types of crafting, there is so much you can do with it. So yeah, it's really awesome bundle. All right, so I've already started to cut these up, but as you can see, they do come in 12 by 12 pieces. So this is the front side of this piece, and this is the reverse side. So I'll just show them to you one by one so you can see all these gorgeous patterns. Actually, before I go too much further, let me tell you the colors that are in these papers. So we've got all the beautiful blues. So we've got Night of Navy, Misty Moonlight, Boho Blue, and Balmy Blue. So we've got all those gorgeous blues in this paper, and white, of course, too. But there's so many beautiful patterns. And look at this one with all the little birds and the little flowers. Just super, super cute. We've got some blue stripes. So because we've got these fantastic designs on the back, these papers would be great for any types of cards. Some of these other patterns on the reverse sides would be great for masculine cards as well. We've even got bunnies. They'd be great for children's cards. So really versatile pack of papers. It really covers a broad range of age groups and, you know, types of cards that you might like to make. This one here, this would make a beautiful baby card too, wouldn't it? Really, really pretty. This one is gorgeous. Now, in the suite that comes with this, in the Countryside Inn suite, there is an embossing folder. The embossing folder is this design, and it actually lines up with the pattern in this designer series paper. So I don't have it yet, but I probably will get it at some point. But yeah, you can overlay it over this designer series paper, and you can actually emboss these beautiful designs on here, which I thought is a super cool option to have. This one here is gorgeous. This is in the boho blue. Now this one here I also cut because we're using the reverse side, and this one has got cute little foxes on it. Just so adorable. I love this one. I love these little foxes. So we've got some walking foxes and some sitting foxes. And then on the other side of that, we've got this gorgeous pattern here, and we're using this one today. And then the last one is this one here with the beautiful trees. This is really pretty as well. They all are. They're all gorgeous. And they've got this beautiful floral pattern on the back side. Now, you might not be able to tell that that is actually a floral pattern, but it is a floral pattern. You can see little flowers there up close. So there you go. So that is the paper that we're using today, incorporating that with our Crafting For You bundle. It is a great combo of blues, isn't it, Brenton? They go so beautifully together. They're just really gorgeous. It's hard to see, oh, there, if I put them on there, you can see them better. I was going to say it's a bit hard to see the Night of Navy against the Night of Navy DSP, but if I put them over there, you can see them. They go really beautifully together. All right, and I'm incorporating a little bit of vellum today too. So, all right, so slide that over there. Okay, just lost all the elements of my card, but that's okay because I have got my pack here ready to go. All right, so some of these elements on here I'm going to reuse. Not these though. I'm going to show you how to make these ones. Oops. Oh, I just tore my little spool of ribbon. That's okay. All right, so these ones I'm going to show you how to make. I'll just pop them over to the side. And that layer as well. But these ones are actually the ones that we are going to use. So I will have all of the measurements for these over on my blog tomorrow for you. So if you, if I don't give you all the measurements of everything today, don't panic because it will be over on my blog, and I will post up on my Facebook page when that is available over on my blog. Okay, so if you're here on YouTube and you're following me here on YouTube, but you're not yet following me over on Facebook, if you go to Mandy's Papercraft Creations, if you look me up, look up Mandy Witherby over on YouTube. Oh, sorry, I'm getting so confused. Sorry, look up Mandy Witherby, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator over on Facebook and follow me over there. And then that will link through to my blog, but I will have the blog link here as well. Let me just grab, I'm just thinking, I'll just grab my Facebook page link here, and I'll put that over here in the comments as well if you're not already following. But I will have the link to my Facebook page will also be in the description of the video. Okay, so all the links will be there for you. All right, so what we have lots of little pieces as well for all of our little bits and pieces. So I'll go through everything and let you know what we are using today. But we've got a card base of boho blue. So this is just half a piece of A4 cardstock. So it measures 21 centimeters by 14.85 scored and folded in half at 10.5. We're going to be having a landscape orientation card today. I'm using some of that gorgeous designer series paper, and we're using this one here for our first layer. And this one measures 14.45 by 10.1 centimeters. Then I've got this one here, and this on the reverse side had the little foxes. Okay, so I've cut that down to be a matte layer for this vellum piece. And this one, now let me look at my notes. This one was 12.3 by 9 centimeters. And then for this piece, I went ahead and I did die cut this ahead of time. One, because I wasn't sure if this was going to fit through the mini machine, but let me just have a look and see. It would actually fit through the mini machine. So that one I could have cut through the mini machine, but I did cut it on my large machine last night. And this one comes from the Scalloped Contours dies, and it's the, I'll show you which one it is. This is one I use quite a lot, actually. It is the, which one did I use now? I forget. No, it was the second largest. Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember which one it was. It was very late when I was designing this last night. Yeah, so the second largest die for that one. So I've already done that. I'm not going to do that again today. So this is just from a piece of vellum. The vellum cardstock comes in sheets of A4 in a pack of, oh gosh, I don't know how many is in the pack actually. I'd have to have a look at the packet. But yeah, so I just cut that down to fit that side. This is roughly 11.3 by 8 centimeters once you've die cut it. Okay, so if you start with a piece just a little bit larger than that and then do your die cut. All right, so we won't do that piece again because we've already got that. So this is basically going to be our layers, and then I've got a stitched circle, and the stitched circles comes from the Stylish Shape dies, and these are my go-to dies now. I use these ones a lot, the Stylish Shape dies, and I've used the largest circle. Now all of the dies on this one are stitched, so when you die cut them, you've got that gorgeous stitching, and I just thought, well, that goes beautifully with a crafty themed project, having the stitching on them. So I thought that just worked in really well. Now we're going to be using the little mini tiny circle today. I'm going to show you how to create one of these little spools today, little ribbon spools for our project, and we're going to be using the little one, but I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. I've got some spare ones here, but I'm actually going to do it differently, so I probably won't use these ones. All right, and then for all of my little elements, for all of these little elements here, I do have a strip cut for the sentiment. So that's this one here, and this one measures 7.5 by 3.3 centimeters. We're going to stamp our sentiment on there, and then we're going to tear the ends of that. Now that's just basic white, okay, and I just got that from a scrap. So, and then just trimmed it down to the size that I needed. And then all these other pieces are scrap. So we've got some of the new Pebbled Path. That's one of the new in colors. We've got a piece of boho blue, because we're going to create a little boho blue Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, like the boho blue mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that we had. You might remember we had that as a joining incentive during Celebration in January and February. Well, guess what? Stampin' Up demonstrators can actually buy them at the moment, because there are some still available and we can buy them, but only demonstrators at the moment. So anyway, so we're going to create our own little one today. Then we've got some grey granite. We've got some silver cardstock. Now the silver cardstock is going to be carrying over, but it's carrying over into the online exclusives. Okay, so you won't find the silver foil cardstock in the catalog, in the new catalog. It's going to be in the online exclusive. So it's in the online store. if you're looking for silver cardstock, that's where you'll find it. Okay. And then we've got some black as well for our scissors. Okay. That's our vellum piece, but I've already cut that, so I'm not going to do that again. And then you just need some scrap of white to die cut the 2 circles that we're going to need for the spool as well. Okay, they're just all from scraps. So this is a great project to use up all of your little scraps. All right, so what we'll do is we will start, let's put all of those over to the side. We will start with putting together all of our layers, and then yeah, we'll go ahead and do all of the other bits. All right, so let's start, whoops, let's start with our designer series paper. I'm just going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue today for this one, and this will help me. I actually need to burnish that. I think it keeps on wanting to pop up. So again, this is the new boho blue color, the boho blue cardstock. I've also got the boho blue ink pad here, so that's what they look like. Really pretty blue. All right, so let's adhere this designer series paper. Okay, it's funny looking for the comments, like they're in a different spot to where I look for my Facebook lives. So yeah, I keep on having to look up and think, wait, where are those comments again? All right, so this is just a simple layer, and this paper looks so pretty on the boho blue, but you could really put it on any of those blues. It also looks great on the navy. Just line that up. It looks really great on the Night of Navy as well, but I just wanted a little bit of a lighter color for the base, because we're going to be putting a darker color on top. Now I think my camera has sunken down a little bit actually, so I'm just going to move this up a bit because I feel like we are starting to move off camera a little bit there. All right, let me just tighten up these clamps. It's definitely sunken down. Yeah, I've got it extended all the way out, so it's having a hard time. Hang on one sec. Let me just adjust this because it is actually falling down. Let me just bring it up a little bit. Sorry. Turn away if you get motion sick. Turn away for a minute while I just fix this up. Yeah, it's just not liking the position that I've got it in, and it's wanting to fall down. All right, we'll see how that goes. Okay, stay there. Stay there. It's all right, at least I'm working on paper today, so I can just keep sliding this around to make sure that I'm in camera view. Or up a tab. There we go. All right. Okay, so we'll put down this layer next. The little foxes. We're going to put glue on the side that has the foxes though. And that's just going to go down in the center. Okay, so you are going to have a wider border on the sides as to the top and the bottom, but that's okay. That's how it's designed. That's how it works with A4 cardstock. Okay, so in American, it's because of the die. Because the dies, I think they might have been sized for American size card bases. But yeah, here in Australia, that's kind of how it works for us. Now, when we're adhering vellum, I like to use a dry adhesive because I just find sometimes the multi-purpose liquid glue can make the vellum curl a little bit. So I like to, yeah, I like to use that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out the position of my pieces so that I know where I can put my adhesive. So I know that I'm going to have my circle around about there, and then I'll just use this one I've already die cut as my template. So this is going to go up about there. So what I like to do is I like to put a little pencil mark under where my pieces are going to be over my vellum, so that I know exactly where, well, this side it doesn't matter so much because it's a large section, but because this was a smaller section over here that's going to be covered up, because you want to put your adhesive where it's going to be covered by the other elements on top when you're using vellum, because otherwise you'll see the adhesive through the vellum and it will look ugly, and we don't want that. One thing I might just do is I might just mark just inside the edge of my circle, so I know not to put my adhesive beyond there, although if I'm going, I can go right across there. So I'm going to flip it over. We can go right across here because that is where that other piece is going to go, but for the rest we'll just add some adhesive here where it's going to be covered up by the circle. I'll take a bit more down there. There we go. Okay. So, oh, I've got a bit of glue on me. Hang on a sec. I'll get rid of that. Alrighty. So we'll pop that down there. Oh, I might put a little bit more just there on the edge actually, because that will be covered up just there. There we go. I want to make sure that that vellum stays adhered down. Okay, and then this is going in the border, that navy blue border. Okay, so see how you see the yucky tape through there, the yucky adhesive through there? That's all going to be covered up. Okay, so that'll be covered up by these elements, and that'll be covered up by the little trimmer, and we won't see those. All right, so that's basically the base part, or the layers. So now we're going to do all of the elements. So first of all, we've got our large circle. I am going to do a little bit of ink distressing on this because we are crafting, and so we can. So I have got my boho blue Stampin' Up marker. I'm going to use the brush tip, and to do this I'm going to do a bit of splattering. So I'm going to move these away because otherwise they're going to get splattered. I've made that mistake in the past. All right, so what I'm going to do now, when you do this, I don't recommend doing this all the time. You need to be careful and look after your tip. So I don't do this all the time because you don't want to damage the brush tip of your marker. So you need to be a bit careful when you do it. But basically what you do is you take your marker, use the edge of your lid, the inside edge, and just flick like that. Because what will happen is you'll get some ink coming into the lid, and basically you are flicking that ink onto the cardstock. Okay. There we go. And then I like to just dab the excess ink that sits inside the lid there. I like to just dab that off with a tissue just so that it doesn't make the tip of my marker all inky. Okay, so that's as easy as that is. So now if I hold that up, hopefully you can see that I've got that ink splatter there on the circle. Isn't that cool? A really, really easy technique. Yeah. All right, and then we're going to take the boho blue classic Stampin' Pad and a sponge dauber. I've got a brand new sponge dauber for my boho blue. So if you're looking for the sponge daubers, they come in a pack of 5, and I like to have one for every color because I don't like mixing them because I use them all the time. So yeah, so sponge daubers, if you're looking for the code, it's 133773. And you'll find those in their current and their carrying over. So they're always going to be available in both now and in the future. All right, so we're just going to ink up our dauber, and we're just going to sponge around the edges of our circle. Now this helps to lift it off the designer series paper below it. Just gives it that little bit of a border. And I love ink distressing, so I ink distress whenever I get a chance because it's one of my favorite techniques. So there we go. So now we've gone from having a plain white boring circle to a lovely inky splattery circle. All right. Actually, while we are there, what we might do on this one is I was thinking about inking the edges of this one as well. I didn't have the edges inked on my first original one, but I think I want to ink the edges of this one to tie it in with this piece here. So we might stamp I'll leave that one to the side. We'll stamp our sentiment now. So I'll use the Night of Navy to stamp the sentiment so it's nice and dark. And I'm using Sending You a Handmade Hug. So I'm just going to stamp this. So this is my little piece, 3.3 by 7.5. And I'm just going to stamp my sentiment in the center. There we go. I didn't use my Stampin' Pierce mat today, but that came out beautifully anyway. So that's good. I'm going to give this one a clean straight away because that is a really deep pigment in the Night of Navy, and does like to stain your photopolymer stamps. As you'll see with mine, it's a pretty pink color now. It was clear, but now it's pretty pink, but that's okay. As long as you get that surface ink off, it doesn't affect how your stamp will actually work. Just the photopolymer is a bit porous and it likes to hold those pigments. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to tear the ends of our label, being careful not to smudge our ink. Hopefully it's dry enough. So I'm just going to tear the ends there. So one, I'll turn it up the other way and we'll tear the other end as well. There we go. All right, and then I'll take the boho blue ink and we're just going to dauber the edges of that. And I don't know, should I dauber the top end and the bottom end? Sorry, the top edge and the bottom edge as well, or just leave it on the... I might just leave the two ends, I think. I think I'll just leave the two ends today. All right, so there we go. Alrighty. So we've got our circle, we've got our sentiment. So let's pop those to the side. Now we need to create our little boho blue mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've got my little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine today. I actually don't have the boho blue one. I've got the original white one. But yes, we are going to create a blue one today because we can, and it goes beautifully with the designer series paper. So okay, so let's bring in our little scrap piece. So this piece, I think it was about 8 centimeters. Yeah, 8, just under 8. So about 8 by 8 centimeters. You probably could use it, could probably have a smaller piece, probably 7 by 7 or even maybe 6 by 6. I just grabbed, this one was one that I had, so it was easy just to grab that. We're going to stamp our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine onto this one. Now, what I was noticing last night, because the, let me just pull this out. The stamps in this stamp set are distinctive stamps. So they have the different opacities built into the stamps with the shading to give them a more realistic look. Now with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it's quite deep in color on the platform there, but you can see the grooves. When I was originally playing with this last night, because my Pebbled Path ink pad is new, it was quite juicy. So I had to take some of the ink away because I was losing the definition on the stamp. Okay, so I'll show you what I did. I need to first grab out a baby wipe. So let me grab one of my baby wipes and have that ready. And I like to use a low lint baby wipe. In case I ever do clean my stamps with it, which from time to time I do, you want to use a low lint baby wipe. I have got a bone folder that I use specifically. You'll see that this one is very inky, very stained. I use this specifically for this purpose, but if you don't have a spare bone folder, you can use a spoon, like a teaspoon. You can use a metal teaspoon, or you can use a plastic teaspoon that you can just keep. And I know that plastic teaspoons here in Australia, you can't buy them anymore because they don't, what is it? I think it's a law now that they don't sell plastic spoons anymore. They only sell like the bamboo type ones. But anyway, you can use a metal spoon for this. So brand new ink pads that are super, super juicy. What you do is you take your bone folder or the back of a spoon and you press the ink down into the ink pad. Now, when you're doing this, be sure that you're not using something with sharp edges because you don't want to tear up the foam of the ink pad. Okay, so I'm just scraping, but I'm also pushing down. So I'm pushing the ink down into the ink pad because the ink likes to sit on the top, because when we close our ink pads, of course, the ink pad is upside down. And so that's to keep the ink at the surface, which generally is a good idea. But when you've got a really, really inky ink pad and you're using a distinctive stamp, it doesn't always stamp a nice clear image. All right, so then I use my baby wipe just to clean my bone folder. Yes, it is porous because it is made from cattle bone, so it will hold some of the ink, but as long as we get that surface ink off. All right, and then we will take our little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm just going to stamp it. I'll stamp it up this side. Okay, so I'm not super happy with how I've stamped that. I've lost a little bit of the definition there. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do it again. And this time I'm going to just test it on my paper first. Okay, I think I maybe didn't press hard enough the first time. There we go, that is better. So now you can see you've got that beautiful definition, and see how you can see the little grooves on the platform there. That's perfect. Okay, with this one, I didn't quite hold it down long enough. It was a little bit too quick. I was worried about it getting a bit too deep. In fact, this one is actually stamped better than my sample one that I had the other last night when I was designing this card. So that's good. All right, so we'll give this one a clean. There we go. Okay. All right, and so then we just need to now do our die cutting. So we're going to die cut our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We're going to die cut our little scissors, and we're going to die cut our little trimmer. Now the trimmer has two parts to it. It has the trimmer and it has the trimmer blade. So I'll just set the little blade there so you can see it. It's very, very tiny. So I'll bring in the dies. So the good thing with the trimmer blade is that it's actually attached to the trimmer itself, so you can't lose it. It's actually attached to there. So in effect, we have to die cut that part twice. Okay, so all right, so let's set these to the side, and I'll bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, generally, when you're using your mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it's not a good idea to use it on paper because it's going to slide around. It does have rubber feet on it, but the rubber feet can't grip to the paper. They can grip to a tabletop or desktop or like more of a sort of slick surface, but on paper they don't grip so much. So if you see this wiggling around a bit, that's why. All right, I've got some nice newer plates, which is lovely. So we're going to use our number 1 base plate, our number 2 clear plate, and then we'll use another number 2 clear plate on the top. So I'll grab my trimmer die. Now here it is here, and we'll line that up like so. I've got a little bit of washi tape here. Oh, actually, I'll grab my other washi tape. Hang on a sec. I reuse my washi tape. I've got a whole heap of washi tape over on my large machine, so I'll just use that. I don't store it here on my little machine because the little machine goes on the bottom shelf of my trolley, and our puppy likes to eat the washi tape, and it's not really good for her, so she likes to try and find it and pull it off, so I always put it on the large machine, not on the small one. Okay, so we've got our die cutting machine. Now, what else do we need? We need scissors and a trimmer. Okay, so for the scissors, they are going to be cut in, we're going to cut 2 lots of the scissors. So we're going to cut one in the black, and then we're going to do one in the silver, and then we're going to piece them together like paper piecing. So I'll just hold that in place there. All right, so we'll do those 2 together, and then we'll do the others. So we'll line these up. When you are lining up your plates, you want to stagger them, okay, so that they're not all lined up square at the end, because otherwise it can make it hard for your machine to feed it through the rollers. So we just stagger them a little bit. There we go. So now we've got our cute little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, our little boho blue mini. How adorable is that? So super cute. Okay, and we've got our scissors. Now these aren't actually paper snips because they are a different shape to paper snips. These have a larger blade on one side, whereas with our paper snips, I mean, they do resemble the paper snips, but, whoops, hang on. They do resemble the paper snips, but the paper snips have 2 identical sized handles, whereas the little scissors have 2 different sized handles. So, but they represent the snips. We'll call them paper snips today. So we're going to create our little snips. So here we've got our black pieces, okay, and now we're going to cut another set of those in the silver. All right. Oops, we'll just put away our die from our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, and I think I'm going to be putting these ones onto some magnetic sheets because I think these are going to be a set of dies that I will use a lot. And I'm having trouble getting them back on my die sheet. There we go. Okay, so now we need another set of the blades in the silver foil cardstock. Actually, I'm going to cut this down because I don't want to use all of that silver foil. Because if I run all of that through and there's any marks on my top plate, it'll actually mark up the rest of that silver foil and then I won't be able to use it. So I'm just going to trim that down. Hold that on with a little bit of washi. And we need, what was the other thing? The trimmer. All right, so we'll use the trimmer die. Now for the trimmer, whoops, I've got 2 different colors. So I've got the pebbled path for the large part of the trimmer, or the main part of the trimmer. So I'll trim that cardstock up. So we'll have to run that through, and then we'll have to run it through a second time for the little blade. Now this die has straight edges, okay? So any die that has straight edges, always put it in at a little bit of an angle. That's with both of your machines, either the large or the mini machine. It just helps your machine to feed it through the rollers if it's at an angle, rather than trying to feed it through the machine with that straight edge. It can get caught a little bit in the rollers. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, so we've got our little machine. Now this one, because it's a larger piece, it tends to get stuck in the die. But if you take your pick tool and poke through those little holes that are in your die, which are your releasing holes, then that will release the cardstock from the die. As you see, it just pops out. Now this cuts some of these little sections in here too. So you need to just remove that little section, and then it cuts the grooves here as well so that you can slip your paper in under there. Okay, and it's got a little bit of embossing detail on there as well. Now it did pop out the little die separately. Oh, sorry, not the little die. It is a little die, but it's the little blade die. Okay, but that's going to be the wrong color because we won't see it on there. So I want to do that in a lighter color. So we're going to do that again. All right, so we'll just take our paper snips out of our silver foil. There we go. Oh, look, I touched them out. They came out nicely. So there's our little silver ones, and we're going to paper piece them with our black handles, and we'll create our scissors with those. All right. So next, the last thing is we need to do is to die cut that little tiny blade there, our little trimmer blade. So I've got a little scrap here of the grey granite, which is just a lighter colour. I'm just going to cut a little tiny piece of that. And we just need to cut the blade. So we just need to put it over the blade section, put it at an angle again, and we're just going to run that through. Now your die might want to try and bite into the plastic, the clear plate, because it doesn't have any cardstock under that main part. You can put a bit of cardstock under there if you want to, or you can cut a whole nother piece of this in the light, and then you can do a dark trimmer and a light trimmer, and then just alternate the blades between the two. Oh, this one actually didn't bite in too much, so that's good. All right, and then we've got our little piece which is stuck in there, and we've got a little hole in the back, so we'll poke that out, and there's our little blade. So now we've got the light blade on the dark trimmer, which is just like our Stampin' trimmer as well. Alrighty, so that is all our die cutting done, I think. I think I've got everything now. Yep. Okay. Oh, no, actually I need to do the circles. All right, we'll come back to that. Alrighty, so let's put all of these pieces over to the side here. And we're going to pop them up there. That's a spare. So actually that's a dark blade. I'll just pop that there. And we're going to create our little scissors in a moment. Got our die. Okay, so I'll pop these dies away. We're finished with those. Well, actually, I'm going to put them in the case because there's lots of little dies in this one, and I don't want to lose any of those. So I'm going to put them straight in the case. And we're going to create our little ribbon spool. So I'll show you how to create that. Now the new idea that I had was, where did I put that white cardstock now? Oh, there we go. All right. So we need our stylish shape dies, and we need the smallest circle. Okay, it's a really, really little circle. It's a very cute little circle. So I'll pop those ones back in there so they don't all, they're all wanting to fall off. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to die cut 2 circles. But the problem that I had last night, and then I used a single hole punch to punch the hole in the center, but I was having trouble getting that right in the center. So what I thought I'd try today is if I work out roughly where the center is on here and punch that first, then I'll line my die up around the circle to die cut it that way, and that will give me the center much more accurately than the way I was trying to do it last night, because it was not working. I was like, oh, how do I get this lined up? So yeah, so let's line that up there like that, and that looks That looks pretty good there, like that. All right, so we're going to make 2 of these. So we'll just bring back in our mini. Oh, these are all my spare little bits that came out of my die case. If ever I cut extras or shapes that I don't use, I die cut them and then I don't use them, I always just keep them in my die packet with my dies. So then if ever I need them again for something else, I've got them already done. All right, so then now we can die cut that circle around the hole punch. And let's see, oh, that's much better. That's much better centered. Still maybe a tad off, but it's much better than what I was achieving last night. So let's do the same again. All right, so we've got a little scrap piece. I'm going to take my single hole punch and now Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell single hole punches. This is just one I've had for years actually. Yeah, this is just a cheapy brand one. I don't even know where I got it from, probably the stationery store or something. Okay, and then we'll line that up with our die. Just may as well do it there on my, straight on my plate. Line that up. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll do it again on the grid paper because I found that helpful. Oops. Line the center up there. And is that in the center? That looks roughly in the center, I think. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. All right, we'll run that through. And then that should be it for all of our die cutting and our stamping. And then we just have to put everything together. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks great. That's awesome. So much better than what I was achieving last night. Can't believe the difference. All right. Last night I was trying to measure my circle with a ruler and I'm like, how do you get right across the middle doing it that way? And I was thinking, oh, what am I going to do? Okie dokie. All right, so these little circles, I'll keep those for another project. I'll pop them back in my die packet. I'm going to put this tiny little die straight back in my die packet because I do not want to lose that little circle. So, all right. Okay, so we've got to make our little spool. We've got to make our trimmer and we're going to make our scissors. Okay. So the first thing we'll do is we will do our little snips. All right, so our blades are going to be metal. Our handles are going to be black. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the handles, and basically what I did is I cut them. There's a little, I'll see if you can see it on here. There's a little embossed line. I don't know if you'll pick it up on camera, but there is a little embossed line just on the base of the blade there. That's where we're going to cut. Okay, so we're just going to cut the black, and the silver part of the snips stay full. So this one has also got a little embossed mark. So we cut both of those. So now we've got our handles. The black tips, we don't keep those. And these pieces just get adhered over the top now of the silver pieces. Okay, so we'll just get a little bit of our glue. And you can either use the multi-purpose liquid glue or you might like to use the fine tip glue. And you just need to use a very small amount of the glue and just dab that around. You could also use the glue sponging technique using your silicone craft sheet and a craft sponge. There we go. So just adding tiny little dabs of glue, and I'm just going to line that up over this the silver scissors. Whoops. And I'm going to hold that up so that I make sure that I get that lined up nicely. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Okay, do the other one. So these are a little bit fiddly, but so worth the time to do it. They look fantastic. I remember my mum actually had an old pair of sewing scissors that were all just silver, all like silver metal. So if you didn't want to fuss with the black handles, you could have just silver scissors. You might like to have them a different color because, you know, sometimes craft scissors can come with a different color handle, blue or red or pink, or I've actually got pink ones that are my sewing scissors. They have a pink handle and metal blades. So you can make the handles whatever color you like. There we go. Look, aren't they so cute? All right, and then what we do is we glue these two pieces together now. Now it depends on how open you want your scissors. I just wanted mine open just a little bit like that, just a little bit open at the tip. So I'm going to glue mine the same this time. So this time I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the side that's got the hole, and I'm just putting glue around the hole. If I can get my glue, I'm trying not to squeeze my glue too hard. I tend to be a bit heavy-handed with my glue sometimes, and then it just oozes everywhere and looks disgusting. So we don't want that. All right, now when you're working with the glue too, just be careful about not getting it onto the metal part of the scissors, because the glue does tend to show up on the metal foil, on the silver foil or the gold foil, any of the foil. Yeah, so about there like that. Super cute. And then you'll notice that we've got a little hole in the center. So of course we need a little hinge. Okay, we need a little metal hinge like we have on our scissors. So in order to get a little hinge, I just took a rhinestone basic jewel, and I use the very smallest size, which I have here. The very smallest size, and it, oops, oh dear, there we go, found it, and rolled away from me. The smallest size fits perfectly in that hole. So I think they must have designed it, whoops, it stuck to my sticky finger. I think they must have designed it that way. So there you go. So the little rhinestone fits perfectly in that little hole. And now we have our cute little pair of scissors. How adorable are they? Super, super cute. So there we go. Look at that little mini pair of scissors. I can just think of so many things that you could use that for. I mean, on the other side, it's blank, but you could, if you wanted to, cut, because we're going to be sticking that down, it doesn't matter. But if you wanted that to be double-sided, perhaps for, I don't know, like a scissor charm or something like that, you could cut a second pair and yeah, put the color on the put the color on the other side, just turn it over. I think that would work. I don't know, haven't tried it, but yeah, give it a go and see. So yeah, that would be super cool. All right, so we've got our little paper snips. Okay, now for the trimmer, the paper trimmer, all you're going to do is to slide your cardstock into the trimmer, just like you would on the ordinary trimmer. Let's have a look at the big trimmer. Okay, so here's our big trimmer. All right, and normally we put the cardstock in under the flap there. So that's what this part is here. We just feed the cardstock in under there. And of course we need a blade. So I've got, well, you'll notice with the, I don't have this lined up exactly where it's meant to be. So I'll get that lined up. But notice that on our big trimmer, we've got two blades. So we've got the light one, which is our scoring blade. And then we've got the darker one, which is our cutting blade. So if you wanted to, you could actually have both blades on there. Okay. Now the scoring, the one I've cut this, in this case, the cutting blade, the darker one, it's actually the same color as the cardstock that I've cut the trimmer with. So it's not going to show up as well. And just another little note, the little blades for your little trimmer, they have a little groove on them, just like our actual trimmer has these grooves. Okay, so, and they go across, so make sure they go across on your card. So you can add both of those, or you can just add one of them. So I might add just one. I think I'll just add the light colored one. Okay, just in this case, because we do have darker grey, so you could cut an extra blade in a darker color, but in this case I don't want to waste more time doing that, and this one is not going to be seen, so I'm just going to put the one blade on mine today. So there you go. So we've got our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, we've got our trimmer, we've got our snips, so we are all ready to craft. All right, so with this one, I'm going to put this in place now so that I can adhere all of this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get this where I want to have it, and I'm going to line it up with that top little groove there, like we would on our trimmer if we're lining up our lining up our cardstock, sorry. And then I'm going to pop a little glue dot just under there to hold that in place so that it doesn't move. So I'll just grab a glue dot. You can pop some glue under there if you want to, but just to be, whoops, just to make it simple, I'm just going to grab a glue dot and slip that in under there, just to hold that down in place. Oops, the glue dot's got to stay under there, not come out with my take a pick tool. There we go. All right, so that's nicely in place now. Then we've got our little blade. I'm going to work out where we want to situate our little blade. I think I'm going to put it down here. So I will add a little bit of glue to the back of this one. Now this one is a little bit hard to, it's a little bit tricky to handle this one because it's tiny. So if you take your pick tool, I'll just put the lid on that so I don't stab myself. Pick it up with the putty end and then apply your glue. You won't need too much, just need a little bit. There we go. And then we can pop that down. Now remember, we want the little groove going across ways, and I'm going to put that about there. There we go. And there's our cute little trimmer. Now the reason I've put it down there is because there's a bit more white space down here rather than up the top, where I've got the sentiment a bit closer to the basically the arm of the trimmer. All right, so there we go. All right, so that one is done. Now next we need to make our little spools, our little spool of ribbon. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip these over upside down. I'm going to grab my mini, actually let me just put the lid on my glue so that doesn't dry out. I'm going to grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oh my goodness, minis in everything. Mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, mini dimensionals. This time I'm actually grabbing my mini dimensionals. So I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals, and on the underside, on one side, I'm going to pop a few mini dimensionals. Whoops. making sure to keep them inside that edge. Whoops. If you want to, you can cut these down a little bit smaller if you're worried about them sticking out the edges. But we are putting ribbon, we're going to wrap some ribbon around this so we won't really see them. You just more don't want them sticking out from the inside edge. Okay, so we've got our little mini dimensionals. We're going to take the backings off those. And, oopsie, there we go. All right, and we're going to adhere the two circles together and trying to line them up as best as possible. This is the trickiest part, but don't push them down too hard to begin with to make sure that you can get them lined up, because you can always remove them or slide them over a little bit. Okay, so that's not too bad. They're a little bit off, but that's okay, because when you adhere that down, then it gives you a little bit of depth and you can see that it's actually like a spool. Okay, so we've got our little spool now. And what we're going to do is we'll get a glue dot ready. We're going to take a little bit of the, now this is the Starry Sky metallic woven ribbon, and even though Starry Sky is not in this color of the designer series paper, this ribbon actually goes really well. So you're going to take a glue dot. I'm going to stick a glue dot in here in between the two sides of the spool, but I don't want to glue them together because that is there just to hold the end of the ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to stick the end of the ribbon in there, use my take your pick tool to adhere that to the glue dot. Okay, and then I'm just going to wrap some of this ribbon around, and where it sits over the dimensionals, the mini dimensionals, it's going to want to sit out a little bit. That's okay. If it sticks out too far, you can just push it into the foam, but if it sits out a little bit, it's okay, because then you can see more of the ribbon. So you just need to take that around a couple of times, and then we're going to put another glue dot to hold it in place. So you sort of want to roll our glue dot into like a long little strip. And I'm going to pop that down in there to hold the other end of our ribbon in place. There we go. Okay, just push that down with your take your pick tool. And then we want to leave a length of ribbon that we can use as a decorative part of our spool. So I'll measure, I actually don't know how long did I leave that end bit. Let's see. From the end of the spool, I left that at 13.5 centimeters. So thereabouts. So let's just measure 13.5 centimeters, and we'll cut that there with our real paper snips. There we go. All right, so I'm much happier with that spool than with my first one. So my first one can just go in the bin because it was a little bit wonky. Alrighty, so now we've got all of our elements. We are ready to put together our project. Okay, where's our base? Here we go. Alrighty, okay, so first things first, we are going to attach our circle down to our card front. So I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal because we are adhering it onto the vellum, and I don't want that vellum to warp or crinkle or do anything crazy. There we go. Oops, getting into a sticky situation with my Stampin' Seal there because I'm rushing. Okay, so we're just going to pop this down over to the left-hand side. There we go. Next will be our trimmer. So I'm going to add, now I'm going to just put this trimmer down flat because I'm going to be adding extra texture. So I'm going to use, well actually, let's use the Stampin' Seal again, because again we're going onto the vellum. So just add a couple of strips there onto the white cardstock, and then we'll add some onto our little trimmer here. There we go. I might add a little bit more here at the bottom. All right. Oops, I got a little bit of adhesive there on my... It is a good idea when you're doing adhesive to do it on your silicone craft sheet, but I didn't grab mine out today. There we go. All right. So then we're going to put this down. Now remember, we've got that yucky piece of glue showing through there, or the tape. We're going to cover that up now. Okay, and we want to make sure we've got room for our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So yep, that's going to be good just there. Our sentiment's going to go off the edge a little bit there, and we'll line that up. As you're putting that down, just make sure that you've got your sentiment strip going straight across there. Okay, like that. Good. All right, now we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oh, I used the wrong one. I must have used the one that had, I just realized that. Oh, I don't think I can get that off now. Oh, that's okay. This was the one I created today. This is the one I had on my sample one. And I inked the edges of this one, but I didn't ink the edges of this one. So, but that's stuck down now. That's okay. Doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all good. Well, I'll have to make a second one now and and make sure that I add the right piece with the sentiment on it. I didn't even realize that I had both of them sitting in front of me then. I was so focused on getting it adhered down, I didn't even look to see which one I'd used. But that's okay. It's all good. Now I'm going to have this overlapping a little bit, the overlapping onto the trimmer, just because otherwise we won't fit everything in. All right, there we go. And now we've got our little snips, and our little snips are going to go down here, and our snips are going to be, I think I'm going to have to just put them down flat. Okay, so we'll put a little bit of glue on these. I think it would be really difficult to get dimensionals onto these because we've got such tiny little sections here. But if you want to give it a go, then go ahead by all means. All right, so then our little snips are going to go here like that. Alrighty, good. Okay, and now for our little spool of ribbon. Our little spool of ribbon is going to go over here, and then the ribbon is going to twist around the, now for this one I am going to need to use liquid glue because I'm not going to be able to get the Stampin' Seal onto this piece. So we'll pop our little glue, our little spool. Oh my goodness, I'm all over the place today, aren't I? Saying the wrong words, and there we go. Okay, so our little spool is going to go there, and then our ribbon is going to just loop around and go through the blade of the snips, and that will hold that, and I'll pull that right down so that will hold that in place. And in fact, what I might do is I might get a little bit of glue dot and just put it in underneath there to hold that in place. But we don't want a whole glue dot. So you can actually break your glue dots up because they are a little bit of glue. We just want a tiny little blob. There we go. We don't want a whole glue dot because they're a little bit too big for what I need. So we just want a little bit. and I'm just going to tuck it in. How will I do this? I'm going to tuck it in under here, under the blade, but I don't want to bend that blade. So I'll just see if I can sneak it in under there. Did it come off the end? No, it's stuck on the end. Sneak it in under there. Come on, work with me. There we go. Sneak it in under there, and then I can just take my ribbon, turn it back around the right way, take my ribbon and just make sure that it catches onto that glue dot, and then just put the blade back down over it. Like that. There we go. Yep, there, that's holding down nicely now. Good. Okay, fantastic. Alrighty, and we've got our cute little spool there of ribbon, which is super, super cute and adorable. All right, so let's finish off with a couple more rhinestones because, you know, it's a craft project, so we need to have that bling. Now, I'm thinking, because we've only got little, everything is in small, everything is little, so I think if we just use some of the little mini rhinestones, and we've already got a mini rhinestone there too, I'm going to just scatter some of these around about. Whoop, that one's stuck to my finger. Do we want one there or up in there? Maybe just down here. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, we do have a fourth one there. So let's add a fifth one. And then we'll have our uneven number, because in the crafting world, as we know, it's more aesthetically pleasing to have an odd number of embellishments. Yeah, we could put that one over there. Yep. There we go. So there is our cute little craft project today. So isn't that just so adorable? I love all of those little mini items from our craft room using the Crafting With You bundle. So that's the stamp sets. There's the dies. And there's the beautiful project. So what do you think? Did you like that? Did you like the addition of my little spool there? It was just a really fun way that I came up with last night of adding the ribbon. And I know on camera you probably can't really get the full effect of the spool, but when you see it in real life, you get the dimension. You can see the ribbon wrapped around it, and you love it, Brenton. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and thank you for helping me at the beginning too about the sound and everything. So yeah, just a really fun little set. So I hope you really enjoyed that. All right, I'm going to tip the camera back up face to face, because I always like to say goodbye face to face, because I think that that is important, and that is, you know, polite. So let's just do a flip. All right, bear with me. Here we go. Okay. And we should be face to face again. Yay! Only my camera is a little bit low. Let me just put that up a bit. There we go. That's a bit better. And put some lights back on. I will get better at these transitions on YouTube. As I said, it's a little bit different to how I do it on Facebook. So I will get there. So thank you so much for bearing with me while I learn the ropes over here on YouTube, because it is a little bit different. So let's hold up our little card. There it is. Isn't that just so cute? So adorable. I love all of those little elements. And there you can see my little ribbon spool now. Just a lot of fun. So yeah, if you're looking for those products, the Crafting With You bundle and the beautiful designer series paper, let me remember the name of that, Countryside Inn designer series paper in those beautiful blues. They will be available on the 2nd of May 2023 in the new annual catalogue. That's the 2023 to 2024 annual catalogue. So super exciting. There's lots of beautiful products coming. I'm so excited. If you are looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia, I would love to help you. Please feel free to get in contact with me. All of my contact details will be in the description of this video once I upload it, once I've edited it and everything. So yeah, so feel free to get in contact with me. I'd love to get a catalogue to you and help you if there's anything that you need help with or you have any questions. And remember too that you can always join Stampin' Up! And join my team. I'd love to have you join my team and join our beautiful crafting community, and also get a 20 to 25% discount on all of your beautiful Stampin' Up! Products. So especially with the brand new catalogue, it is a great time to join because you'll get your discount on all of those beautiful products. So it's only $169 to purchase the starter kit, and you get to choose what you put in that starter kit up to the value of $235. So you're getting $66 worth of free product, plus you'll get free shipping on that starter kit order, and then you'll get your ongoing discount thereafter. So if you would like more information about that, please feel free to get in contact with me, and we would love to welcome you into our crafting community, and I'd love to support you. So feel free to get in contact. Well, I will let you go. We are coming up on the weekend, so I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I'll be live again on Monday over on my Facebook page, so feel free to come over there at 4 p.m. on Monday. That's Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to seeing you really soon. So have a great weekend. And thanks again so much, Brenton, for being here with me and keeping me company today. And I look forward to seeing everybody again really soon. So as I always say, happy crafting. Bye.